Hey guys, how are you? This is another part to my year of being triggered, to explain to you some of the ways that triggers can show up and how we can deal with them, and how sometimes what we think is the problem is not the problem, and sometimes we can think we've dealt with the problem but it's actually something deeper. Now this one's pretty vulnerable and pretty personal, and I just want to say at the very beginning, anybody, I don't mention people as such, but any experiences that I mention in this video, it's nothing against anybody who I'm talking about. They did exactly as they were supposed to do. They triggered me and did everything that needed to happen for me to deal with the triggers, and I'm ever grateful for them and for the experience and everything that happened. I don't want people to ever think that when you talk about experiences and what you've done, that they were wrong or that they somehow, anyway, that's been a big part of my filming. I haven't wanted to offend anybody or make anybody think something was about them. So let's go back to this one. I had a really, really big breakthrough over abandonment issues that I have had for as long as I can remember. That led me to people please. So let me try and sum this up a little bit before I go in. So I used to do a lot of things for people because I felt like I had to earn my worth. Anyone else feel like that sometimes? And so I would do whatever anybody asked and be the one and put my hand up and be the volunteer and be everything to help people. Now, did I not want to help them? No, it wasn't. I was helping them. But what was happening was they were getting their needs met, and that was brilliant, and they thought I wanted to help them, and I did. But the reason why I was helping them is the problem, not the helping. So nobody that I've helped ever do I regret helping. It's nothing to do with that. This is the me side of things. I was doing it to earn my worth. I was doing it because that's what I thought I had to do. Suze was always the helper. Assume said role, I'm going to help. And it was almost like I used to think sometimes, if I don't do it, who's going to do it? You know, like there was nobody else who could help, seriously. So that's a little bit of a bit of a complex. It's not a good thing. It wasn't that I thought I was the only one who could help, but I felt like, well, if I say no and there's no one else, oh wow, like I better step in, as if everything crashing down without me helping would be my fault, right? So that was a self-worth issue. But it was deeper than that though, because it was actually hooked around abandonment. I wanted to prove my worth to people so that they would think I was worthy. They would be friends with me. I was adding value, so they would be friends with me. And so they would keep me and they wouldn't abandon me, right? Now, it's said like that, but you get the gist of everything. It wasn't that black and white, but that was where the actual thing was coming from. And I couldn't ever work out why that was happening. And it also led to me abandoning myself in lots of ways. Not saying what I wanted or what I needed, because I thought, well, that's not what you do. You put yourself last. You put everyone else's needs. Now, if somebody came to me and said, I need you to do this, and even if I thought part of that I could do, but the whole thing is going to cause me a drama, I wouldn't then say to them, well, look, I can cook the cakes for you and drop them off to you at 9 o'clock in the morning, but I can't be at that cake stall at 11:30 because I can't be there. Sorry, but I would then bend to not only cook the cakes, attend the cake stall, probably say I'll stay and count the money up and I'll bank it too, when really all I had that time or emotional bandwidth for was to cook the cakes and drop them to the person at the stall. Now, does that make sense? Sorry, I've jumped right into that, but I just want to try and explain it in a way that you might be able to realise where you're doing this yourself. So I would do that. I wouldn't negotiate. I would just think, they asked me for something, I would just say yes. And even in the back of my mind when I knew, Suze, you've got to pick your kids up from school, you've got to be here, you've got to be there, you've got an appointment, I would put all that last to help people. Why? Because I felt like I wasn't worth enough if I wasn't doing for people. So, how does all this come into this year of triggers? Well, I was triggered quite a bit by, again, being abandoned. I was going through some stuff. I had some people say, I'll hold your hand, I'll be there for you. But when stuff got tough and things started going off in ways that they didn't think they would go off, all of a sudden, crickets. And I was like, here I am again. What is it with me? What is going on? And then, bam, I'm like, you've got to sort this out now. You know enough now to know this is deeper than that. What is going on? And so it led me to go through some things in my life. I'm like, I don't understand. I don't understand. All of a sudden the lights came on around this trigger of abandonment that actually went back to something that happened when I was 8 years old. That shook me, that shook my world, where somebody who was in my life every day suddenly was not in my life anymore. And when you're 8, that's big. That's huge. And so they went away. And I don't recall whether I knew they were going to go away or not, but they did. And that upset every area of my life because they were in every area of my life. And when you're 8 and something like that shakes you, you don't have any idea how to speak about that. I don't even know that I realised it was a problem. I didn't realise it was a problem until I started to deal with my triggers in the last 12 months. So I was able to see where it came from. And then from there, I was able to sit very uncomfortably, mind you, in all the versions of ways that that had played out in that exact specific way throughout my life at different periods. And there were some cringy things that I had to look at and deal with. Some cringy moments, some stuff that I cannot even believe happened that were not necessarily, oh my gosh, you need to get therapy for this, but they were big to me. And I realised why that was happening. And it also helped me to unpack my people pleaser habit again and completely clear 2 or 3 levels of that as to why I was doing it, how I could stop, working out that I'm worthy without doing stuff for people, and that I am enough just as I am, right? But getting back to this abandonment thing, these people didn't abandon me at all. And they were there to show me things. I was asking them to hold space for me in a place that they couldn't. And so they were just retracting off because they were in a place that they didn't want to be in or couldn't support me in. So it was nothing against them. They aren't bad people by any stretch of the imagination. They're really nice people. But I was asking them to hold space for something that they were not equipped to deal with. So none of that was about me. That was about them. But that happening was the catalyst for me to clear something that I have not been able to clear for a number of years. And I became aware of some of my abandonment issues, people-pleasing issues early on in my awakening. But I hadn't been able to clear them this deeply before because I didn't know where they came from. So sometimes from your triggers, they are knocking at you saying, hey, there's something here that doesn't quite gel, it doesn't quite fit, there's something here that you need to deal with. Please come and step up to the line and stand there, even though you don't know what's next. Stand there when you want to run, when you want to shut down, when you want to numb, when you want to go and drink or you want to party or you want to do whatever it is that however you numb. My numbing was with gaming. That was my biggest thing, was I'm just going to go and play games. And then my mind will stop going anywhere. But I realised that didn't get me anywhere. I was just repeating patterns in different ways. So your patterns may repeat in different ways. But the fact that I was able to go back to my 8-year-old issue, eight-year-old, not wasn't an issue even, to something that had happened to my 8-year-old self that had imprinted on me some thoughts and beliefs that were not true, but I perpetuated them for the next 35 years or 40 years. The fact that I got down deep to that now, I felt like everything has lifted off. And it was so amazing, but it was pretty brutal in the getting to the bottom of it stage. So I just want to encourage you, again, I'm here to give some encouragement to people that you're not broken, you're not alone, there's nothing wrong with you. Just that sometimes we carry stuff, especially from our earlier years, and we don't have the emotional capacity to deal with it as an adult would because you don't know much. So you can sometimes take things on and don't know how to deal with them, and they can sit there and manifest in ways that are not necessarily helpful or true. And so I want to encourage you to sit in that. But don't do it alone. find somewhere safe that you can do it. Don't expect people to hold that space for you though that aren't emotionally equipped to do it, because that then is just going to create more problems for you and for them, and possibly fracture relationships that would have been beautiful otherwise. So I hope this was helpful. As I said, I like to give examples so that you can know maybe how this is showing up in your life. It might just be a light that comes on for you to help you to put down some heavy bags that you've carried for a long time that you didn't even realise you were carrying, but they were there, and now you might be able to unpack some stuff, cry the tears, feel the emotions, let go of the shame that you feel to yourself for all those patterns you repeated over the years that you just didn't even realise were patterns, because I had to do that. A lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of crazy. Let go of all that, which will enable you then to pick up and have the space for all the good things in your life that are to come. And they are coming. It does get better. Okay, thanks for spending time with me. I'm also over on Instagram if you'd like to join me over there on Smarting Coaching. I share different bits and pieces, thoughts I have, downloads that I get, just encouragement to help you in your day, because let's face it, we all need some more encouragement, don't we? Okay, be kind to others, especially be kind to yourself. I've enjoyed spending time with you, and I hope to see you again really soon. Take care.